Hello, persistence warriors. Welcome to Savage Persistence. I'm your host, and this is where we explore the art of turning dreams into reality through smart, sustainable persistence. Today, we're diving deep into a topic that has the power to completely transform how you approach every challenge in your life. We're going to dismantle one of the most toxic myths of our time and replace it with a powerful, practical framework for success. The topic is, quitting is a strategic choice. Persistence is your greatest opportunity. Over the next 20 minutes, we'll explore not just the what, but the how. How to know when to persist and when to pivot. This isn't theoretical. This is a practical guide you can apply immediately. So get comfortable, and let's begin this journey together. There's a moment I want you to recall. I call it the soul's midnight. It's that quiet hour when the world sleeps and your deepest truths emerge. When the masks we wear all day finally come off, and we're left with just ourselves. Have you ever found yourself there, staring at the ceiling, heart heavy? Asking that terrifying question, is this really what I'm meant to be doing? Or am I just following a script written by society, by my parents, by my fears? I know this place intimately. Let me take you back 5 years in my life. I was the proud founder of a tech startup. On the surface, everything looked perfect. I had the title, the business cards, the pitch deck. But inside I was drowning. I was held prisoner by one simple phrase: winners never quit. For 2 long years, this mantra became my identity, my prison, my hell. Let me paint you a picture of what those years looked like. 80-hour weeks became normal. Instant noodles became my staple diet. I missed birthdays, weddings, funerals. I was always too busy building my dream. But here's the truth. I wasn't building anything. I was just digging a deeper hole. I remember one night particularly vividly. It was 3 a.m. I was staring at a spreadsheet, the numbers blurring before my tired eyes. And in that moment, a crystal clear knowing washed over me. This business model is fundamentally flawed. This will never work. But what did I do? I silenced that voice. I told myself to push harder. This is just the grind, I said. This is what success feels like. The cost of this persistence was astronomical, and I'm not talking about money. It cost me my health. I developed chronic stress and insomnia. It cost me my relationships. I pushed away everyone who cared about me. Most importantly, it cost me my self-respect. I knew I was living a lie. The eventual collapse wasn't dramatic. There was no big explosion. It was a slow, quiet, humiliating fade into nothingness. And the hardest truth to face wasn't that the business failed. The hardest truth was that I had failed myself for 2 years. I had ignored every warning sign, every gut feeling, every piece of evidence. Now you might be thinking, but my situation is different. Maybe you're not a startup founder. Maybe you're in a corporate job you hate. Maybe you're in a relationship that's been dead for years. Maybe you're pursuing a degree because it's what your parents wanted. Or maybe you're clinging to a dream that's evolved into a nightmare. The common thread is this: we're taught that quitting is the ultimate sin. We're taught that persistence, no matter the cost, is the highest virtue. But I'm here to tell you today, this is complete and utter nonsense. In fact, this belief is destroying more potential than it's creating. Let's look at some real-world examples of successful quitting. Take Apple. In the late 90s, they had over a dozen different products. When Steve Jobs returned, he killed almost all of them to focus on just 4. That strategic quitting saved Apple from bankruptcy. Or consider Netflix. They were successful in the DVD by mail business. But they saw the future was streaming, so they quit their core business model. Their stock dropped 80% when they announced the split. Everyone called them crazy. But that quit made them the giant they are today. Even in nature, we see this principle. Trees lose their leaves in autumn. They're not failing, they're conserving resources for new growth. Snakes shed their skin. Eagles pluck out their old feathers. This isn't quitting, this is evolution. This is growth. The psychological trap we fall into is called the sunk cost fallacy. We think, I've invested so much time, money, effort, I can't quit now. So we continue pouring resources into a losing proposition. It's like continuing to repair a car that's constantly breaking down, just because you've already spent a lot on repairs. Sometimes, the smartest financial decision is to cut your losses. Let me give you a powerful metaphor that might change how you see this. Imagine you're driving from Hanoi to Saigon. Your goal is clear: reach Saigon. But you take a wrong turn and find yourself on a broken, muddy road. The GPS is rerouting. Your gut says this is wrong, but you keep going. Why? Because you've already driven 50 kilometers down this road. Blind persistence is flooring the gas pedal, digging yourself deeper into the mud. Smart persistence? That's putting the car in reverse. It's backing up, finding the highway, and continuing your journey. Did you quit your goal of reaching Saigon? Absolutely not. You just quit a failed route. You quit a method that wasn't working. This distinction between quitting a goal and quitting a method is the most important insight you'll gain today. Now, how do you apply this in your own life? Let me give you the framework. I call it the Savage Persistence Assessment Framework. 3 simple but profound questions. Question 1. Is your WHY still alive and authentic? When you started this journey, what was your motivation? Was it genuine passion? A real desire to serve? Or was it external validation? Trying to prove something to someone? A pure why feels like a fire in your belly. It gets you out of bed excited every morning. A contaminated why feels like a heavy weight. It drains your energy, your joy, your spirit. If your why has become a burden rather than a blessing, that's your first red flag. Question 2. Are you married to the goal or the method? This is where most people get stuck. They confuse the destination with the vehicle. If your goal is to cross the ocean, but your boat has a hole in it, bailing water faster isn't the solution. The solution is to find a better boat, or build a bridge, or learn to fly. The most successful people I've studied aren't the most stubborn. They're the most adaptable. They fail fast, learn fast, and pivot fast. They maintain absolute fidelity to their vision, but complete flexibility in their execution. Question 3. What is the true cost of your persistence? And I want you to think beyond money. What is this costing your health? Your relationships? Your mental peace? Your joy? Your integrity? Who else is paying the price for your persistence? Your spouse? Your children? Your friends? I've seen too many people achieve success only to look around and realize they're alone, sick, and miserable. If the cost of your persistence is your humanity, the price is too high. No goal is worth that. When you answer these 3 questions with brutal honesty, something magical happens. The fog lifts, the confusion clears. You gain what I call strategic clarity. The energy you were wasting on a dead-end path is suddenly freed up. That energy can now be channeled into building something that actually works. Let me share a powerful story from one of our coaching clients. Sarah was a partner at a prestigious law firm. She had everything society tells us we should want. The corner office, the 6-figure salary, the respect of her peers. But she was miserable. She came to us burned out, depressed, and lost. When we walked her through this framework, she had a breakthrough. Her original why for becoming a lawyer was to help people and create justice. Somewhere along the way, she had gotten stuck in the METHOD billable hours, partner track. She had forgotten her GOAL to create justice and help people. The cost? Her health was failing, her marriage was crumbling. She hadn't taken a real vacation in years. Sarah made the courageous decision to quit. She left the law firm. But she didn't quit her goal of creating justice. She just changed her method. She started a nonprofit that provides legal services to underserved communities. Today, she makes less money but is infinitely happier and more fulfilled. Her story illustrates the power of strategic quitting. Now let's talk about the science behind why this works so well. Research in behavioral economics shows that we're wired to avoid losses. This is called loss aversion. We feel the pain of loss twice as strongly as the pleasure of gain. So when we consider quitting, our brain screams, "Don't lose what you've invested." But here's what the research also shows. The most successful entrepreneurs and innovators are those who are best at killing their own ideas quickly. They fail fast, learn fast, and pivot fast. This isn't failure, it's accelerated learning. Think about Thomas Edison. He didn't see 10,000 failed attempts at the light bulb as failures. He saw them as learning 10,000 ways that didn't work on his path to finding the one that did. Each quit of a failed approach brought him closer to success. Now I want to address the biggest fear I hear about quitting. What will people think of me? Will they see me as a failure? Let me be brutally honest. Most people are so busy worrying about their own lives that they don't have nearly as much time to judge you as you think. And the people who do judge you, their opinion says more about them than about you. The truth is, the world doesn't remember quitters, it remembers finishers. But here's the secret. The fastest way to become a finisher is to be a smart quitter first. Quit the paths that don't work so you can finish the journey that does. Let me give you 3 practical signs that it's time to quit your current approach. Sign 1. You dread working on your project most days. Not just normal challenges, but a deep soul-crushing dread. Sign 2. You're not learning anything new anymore. You're just going through the motions, repeating the same patterns. Sign 3. The cost is consistently outweighing the benefit. And I mean this emotionally, physically, and spiritually, not just financially. If you're seeing these signs, it's not a signal to give up on your dreams. It's a signal to change your strategy. Now, let's talk about how to quit smart. Because there's a right way and a wrong way to quit. Wrong way. Quitting in frustration, impulsively, without a plan. Right way. Strategic quitting, making the conscious, planned transition. Here's my 4-step process for strategic quitting. Step 1. Conduct an honest assessment using the 3 questions we discussed. Step 2. Identify what you've learned from this path. No experience is wasted. Step 3. Plan your transition. Line up your next move before you make it. Step 4. Execute with grace. Leave relationships intact. Close loops properly. This isn't burning bridges, it's crossing them to new territory. I want to share one more story that perfectly illustrates this principle. There was a woodworking apprentice who spent weeks carving a beautiful table leg. It was perfect in every way, except it was 2 inches too short for the table. His master looked at it and said, "Now break it." The apprentice was horrified, "But I spent weeks on this. It's perfect." The master replied, "It's perfectly useless for its purpose. Break it and start over." The lesson? Don't fall in love with your method. Fall in love with your goal. That table leg was a method. The goal was a functional, beautiful table. Sometimes, the smartest thing you can do is break your beautiful table leg and start carving one that actually fits. As we begin to wrap up, I want to leave you with this final thought. Persistence is not about stubbornly clinging to one path, regardless of the evidence. True persistence is about maintaining unwavering commitment to your vision, while having the radical flexibility to change your approach as needed. The oak tree that refuses to bend in the storm breaks. The bamboo that bends with the wind survives to grow another day. Your strength isn't in your rigidity, it's in your resilience. Your ability to adapt, to pivot, to quit methods that don't serve your goals. So here's your challenge, should you choose to accept it. This week, I want you to block out 1 hour of uninterrupted time. Find a quiet space with a notebook. At the top of the page, write Strategic Persistence Assessment. What do I need to quit to win? Then work through the 3 questions we discussed today. Question 1. Is my WHY still pure and alive? Question 2. Am I married to the goal or the method? Question 3. What is this truly costing me and those I love? Be brutally honest with yourself. No sugarcoating, no excuses. Then, based on your answers, make one strategic decision. What one method, approach, or path do you need to quit? To free up energy for what actually works. This single exercise has changed more lives than any other tool I teach. Because when you stop pouring energy into dead ends, you suddenly have massive resources available for productive paths. Remember, every great success story involves strategic quitting. The entrepreneur who quit their safe job to start business. The artist who quit commercial work to find their authentic voice. The athlete who quit one sport to excel in another. They weren't quitters, they were strategic resource allocators. As we close, I want to leave you with this final thought. The world doesn't need more people who blindly persist in wrong directions. The world needs more people with the courage to quit wisely and the wisdom to persist strategically. At Savage Persistence, we don't worship blind persistence. We champion intelligent persistence, the kind that changes lives. The kind that requires both courage to continue and wisdom to change course. Thank you for your time, for your courage, and for being part of this community. Remember, stand firm in your vision, but stay flexible in your path. Your greatest success might require quitting what's holding you back first. Now go out there and persist, wisely, strategically, savagely. Goodbye, and I'll see you in the next video.